dial it back and see if the guys, once you get this kind of participation, you get everybody here, you're like, man, this is awesome. But then you got to remember we're still in shorts and T-shirts and just helmets out here. So long way to go, but, like I said, a lot of really, really good work today.
McCarthy's moving around. Seems like he never hurt a knee.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's done an unbelievable job.
Moving around out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, just because, you get so close to this sometimes. I know for me, I've watched and we've had the benefit of phase 2, where we were out here kind of throwing and catching and moving guys and kind of building up technique and fundamentals. So you kind of forget the fact that this is really his first runway since the injury happened. And I think it's just a credit to the work he put in. And you guys have heard me say it throughout the offseason, but there's been a lot of lonely hours where it's him and the training staff and the strength staff. And, just the work he's put in to get his body where he's at, his arm feeling the way it is, and then, of course, coming off the injury, his lower body feeling as good as it does to move the way he's doing. But he looks great. He's feeling really good. And now we just got to stack a lot of really good days this spring together. I think the biggest thing, that I've noticed, Alec, is, I've told Josh, no stone unturned. We can't assume that he knows any particular thing just based upon the meeting room. We've got to come out and feel it and organically feel exactly where he's at. I've told quarterbacks for a long time, the meeting room, when you're studying things on your own, and then when you're in it, in the huddle, coming off of a play where, I might have missed a protection call, but that doesn't change the fact that there's another down coming and another one and another one. And what I've been really surprised by is some of the things that he does know. You're like, man, that we covered that in a 10-minute burst in week 11 last year. How do you remember that? And then there's some other things where you're like, oh, I assumed he knew that. And so it's what's our job? Baseline teaching and stacking days and layered learning so that we're constantly making him feel like he's growing, but never comfortable, never satisfied on any particular outcome, because we're building towards something much greater than just a single play here or there.
What present the progression of speed too? It's clear here that he's processing things and we want him to see things.
Yeah.
So what's the progression of when, not full speed, but how do you slowly but surely try to ramp it up so he's seeing things a little bit quicker and you get to see the decision?
Yeah, so the 7-on-7 periods, because it's, in a lot of ways with the way the rules are now, it's a passing camp. That's we're not really going to find out how well we're going to run the ball or stop the run in this setting just because of the tempo of the team drills that we do, split fields, all that stuff. But in the 7-on-7 space, I think you can really get a feel for, is a guy reading with his feet? Is he taking the right drop? Is his base and body and balance position to the throws and sequence of the drop in the proper place? And did he make the throw? And then was it accurate? And then you can kind of coach backwards from the ending of the play. And then there's a lot of things of, did the other guys do their jobs? And that's why it's so great to have the participation of Justin and Jordan and TJ. And we've got our group out there and guys that know what they're doing, so they can give him some real-time feedback as well of, hey, I know you got off me right there, but hey, I'm going to win at the top of this route regardless of the leverage. That's something he's going to get used to hearing from number 18 early and often. But little things like that, it's just, you can't measure the importance of those things. But then, today was a little bit more decisive than yesterday, and to Friday will be the same, and there'll be just growth. And we're not, we're trying to make sure that there's a significant amount of offense in right now too. This isn't going to be, we'd be doing a disservice if we try to work real slowly with the material and plays. The better thing we can do is throw a lot at the group, see who's handling what, because we've got other new guys in all three phases that we're trying to see where are they going to slot and fit when it comes to the competition phase in the fall. Yeah, he's been, it's almost hard to believe with how strong he is, some of the things you're hearing about from what he's doing in the weight room. But we're being really smart just with the injury that it was. And then once we were able to kind of get him in and get a feel for that, knowing how we handle the spring, Ben, I don't know if we'll see him fully, active this spring, but I have no hesitation to say that I'm really excited to see him when he's able to get out there. More than likely training camp, but there's still a chance we could see him in some bits and pieces of work over the next 2 weeks. But he's in a good spot.
With the offensive line, you're going to have a couple guys that can be in the food.
Yeah.
What can you do in this
Yeah, the good thing is, having Ryan Kelly's huge, because, he's getting to know not only the quarterback, but he's getting to know the rest of the calls, the feel, the timing of when he's got to be responsible for some information, the dialogue between Brian O'Neill, who's seen just about everything at that right tackle spot, and then the ability to communicate inside out in the huddle. Maybe it's post play. Maybe it's, hey, did you see that as rotation of that safety, or were you looking at that like that was split safety? It's the little things that, we can talk about and say we've got veteran players that will be totally on top of things when it becomes real football, but it's even better when you can have it actually happen. I'd love to have all 5 of those guys out there, but Donovan got some great work in there today next to Ryan Kelly. Blake was moving left and right today, so it does give you some real beneficial options to see guys progress through the learning phase, and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 guys that maybe they're a little more versatile than we thought based upon how they handled this phase.
You referenced Justin earlier. I know the schedule has been pretty shitty.
Yeah. I think it's been huge, and not only just for JJ, but just, you guys know this, he's an energy igniter of the whole building, and I think he's come back with a purpose and a mindset. I know this is kind of your guys' first time seeing him, but he's been here and spent some time here during the phase 2 phase, just when we're pitching and catching, and you hear his voice, you hear his his interactions with teammates, and they just carry such a long way. And I think him being here, and him and I have had a lot of conversations about just his role. He's not only a captain, but he means so much to this organization, and the guys in that locker room that know if this guy, being one of the best in the world at what he does, is pushing himself in May and June, I sure as heck better be doing the same thing.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool, guys. Thank you. See you next week.
Yeah.